When we arrived, the house was in ruins. We tried to get our things, crockery, other things, and then we left.
I went home and I went to look for my goats and my sheep. They were dead. My son joined me and we just stayed there, sitting outside, waiting for nightfall. Then we made a fire and we kept waiting. We really didn't know what to do.
The 26th of January is India's national holiday. At 8 in the morning, northwestern Gujarat was hit by a violent earthquake measuring 7.7 on the Richter scale. The epicenter was located close to the city of Bhuj, and the whole of Kutch province was shaken by the radiating waves of the earthquake. 20,000 people died, 160,000 were injured, and over 1 million houses were damaged or completely destroyed. 2 years later, the rush of rescue efforts and the acute sense of emergency are over. Most of the rebuilding work has been finished, an achievement made possible only by the joint efforts of Indian and foreign aid organizations and the local population. Seen from the outside, the international mobilization may have seemed substantial, but today the reality is clearer.
Much of the rescue that took place primarily was done by the Indian Army, by neighbors, by civil society, by citizens from across the state who poured in. There were a lot of international rescue teams also which came in, which had, I think, more an effect of psychological confidence than actually having rescued more people. If you look at the entire rehabilitation or reconstruction of, let's say, houses in the rural areas, all the NGOs put together have probably rehabilitated about 20%. 80% has been done by people themselves with the compensations that they got from the government. I think, for instance, a lot of the house reconstruction that has taken place with international agencies' support, not enough thought or sensitivity has been given to people's habitat or living lifestyles or the ecology conditions or the weather conditions, where international agencies partnered local organizations who were sensitive. Things have gone well.
Collaboration between foreign organizations and local partners is without question the best way of rationalizing aid and limiting meaningless waste. Yet that does not imply a single exclusive approach. We went to 2 villages where reconstruction was carried out by Indian organizations and financed by Swiss agencies. The village of Gogavand, rebuilt along traditional lines and for a minimum cost, and the village of Koyali, completely re-evaluated and redesigned with the objective of bringing society up to date. The 300 people who live in the village of Gogavand are members of the Hindu Koli tribe, an extremely poor, marginalized population group. The Kolis hire out their services at a daily rate on farms and make charcoal, which they sell by the roadside. The 59 houses that make up their village were all destroyed in the 2001 earthquake and have now been rebuilt along the following lines.
The first parameter that we thought when the house is collapsed, it's not that everything has been damaged. There is still a possibility of retrieving and reusing some of the material. For example, if you look at some of the houses that have been reconstructed here, you would notice that the old door have been reused here. So reusage, retrieval and reusage was one of the important factors, which not only saves on the cost, but also brings in a sense of ownership by the community. What I mean to say is, you see, if I come flying from abroad or from anywhere in this country, I construct a house with the help of some construction company or some engineers and labor contractors, and if I hand it over to the community, maybe the people will not own it. They would just receive it as a charity. The second principle was local design, which is culturally acceptable to the people. So we thought it's better we allow the people to come up with their own design, and then we superimpose the technical factors to it. The design is there, and then we'll see, okay, this is the basic design, and what are the seismic safety features that one can incorporate to the house. So that was the second principle.
We stayed in makeshift shelters that we built ourselves for a long time. Now we feel happy and safe in this solid house, which we built with the help of the different organizations.
We're happy because we've never lived in a house like this before.
Further south, the village of Koyali, where 800 Hindu farmers live, grouped into castes according to Indian tradition. Here too, almost all the houses were razed to the ground by the earthquake in 2001. But here, the new village was built first and foremost with equality and safety in mind.
We selected this village because the house is damaged. It's more than 70%. We helped all the people, irrespective of caste, creed and religion. The main aspect of the architecture here, what we built here, is earthquake resistance houses. And if the people would have had the knowledge on the earthquake resistance technology, we felt that definitely the extent of damage would have not taken place. And in India, if you look at it, the building code is not excised properly in most of the urban as well as the rural area. Right from the beginning, we made it very clear that we will not be going with the government funds. The reason being is government has stipulated 50% will not come in cash. They will give in material. So we want to ensure the quality, because it's after all in earthquake resistance houses. If the quality is not maintained properly, there are fair good chances the cracks and the fallout will be there, if at all, if any future earthquake takes place.